guys, today I'm doing a highly requested video which is talking about the head in ballet, so head positions and head placement. So before we start, I just want to say that each school and each ballet style has its own heads, but there are some which are common to all of them. So I'm going to talk you through the basics of the head positions, but please speak to your ballet teacher to see what style of ballet you're actually doing and where the head placement should be in certain positions, because it will be different. So before I get into the actual ballet positions of the head, I want to just talk about how the head should be held in ballet in general. And I did actually talk about this a little bit in my balance tips video, because obviously posture is really, really important for balancing. But the position of the head in ballet is so fundamental because the head is the thing that weighs the most. It's really heavy, and so even if it's off slightly, it's gonna really affect your balance and it's gonna pull you off your center. So obviously we want the head to be even. We don't want it either one side or the other side, and we don't want it going up or down either. I mean, depending on the choreography, sometimes maybe you will have a line that's looking slightly up, you also have other lines that are looking slightly down, but the main position of the head is going to be straight, okay? So none of this and none of this either. So to the front is the simple one, and obviously you can correct yourself as well when you look at the front. To the side is more complicated. So to the side, I don't want my head too far forward, and I also don't want it too far back. So it's really important, and we have a tendency to have the head too far forward. If I've seen any corrections, and I know that my own correction as well, is I have my head too far forward. So to correct my head being too far forward, what I need to do is I need to get my shoulders back and down. Think about like coming from here up this part of the neck. So it really comes here, so I'm not here. Okay? It's really thinking about from here, elongating upwards the neck there. Okay, so that head position is really important, and it's going to help us with all of our balances. It's going to help us keep on center. So it's really important that that is the basis of everything that we're going to talk about today with the head. So now, moving on to the position. So usually, the foot that's in front, we are inclining the head towards that foot. Now, some schools teach that the head should be diagonal. Some schools teach that it should be slightly more than diagonal. It really depends on the school. When I was at the conservatoire, they wanted even slightly more than diagonal. Okay, so if I'm doing, for example, tendu vivant, then my head is here. Now, if I'm in second or in first position, then usually, not always, but usually the head is going to be to the front. So if I'm doing tendus here, my head is to the front. Now, to the back. This is where we get a lot of differences, and it depends on the school. So, some schools teach to the back, looking towards the bar. Some schools teach that the head goes outwards. Some schools teach that there's an inclination towards the hand, like this. And other schools just have the head almost in the same position as when we are devant. That is how I've learned it. I have learned that the head is out, devant, and out, derrière, okay? Now, again, it really depends on the school, and that's why I'm saying it's so important to ask your teacher, because maybe what your teacher wants, derrière, is that you're inclining your head slightly this way, okay? So it's really important that you know exactly what your teacher wants, because there is no one correct head for each position. It really depends on the school. When we come to actually moving the head, I'm going to give the example with a grand plie. And basically, just as the same with the arms, if we're doing the port de bras, although we pass through each position, you don't actually stop, and the whole thing becomes fluid. Okay, like this. It's the same thing with the head. Even though we're going to pass through the positions, it's going to become a smooth movement. So for example, again, this is how I've been taught the head for a grand plie. Other schools might do the head slightly differently, but I'm going to teach you how I know, and then please do ask your ballet teacher what is the correct way for your school. So I'm going to start here. I'm going to do the allongé. I'm looking outwards past my fingertips, and as we go down, my head stays there. Now, at the bottom, I'm coming here. I'm not looking down, but I'm also not looking straight forward. I'm actually slightly diagonally down. Then, here, my head is inclined towards the bar. Again, it will depend on the school. Some people want it here, some people want it more diagonal, but it's usually towards the bar. And then opening out again. Sometimes you might have a port de bras that goes through fifth position. That's a little bit more advanced, but basically your headline will follow your fingertips. So those are the positions, and in reality, we're not going to stop at each position. We're going to hopefully make it one smooth movement and there. So I could do this, but I've not moved my head at all. And obviously on stage, you're not going to see where my eyes are looking. You're going to see where my head, what my head position is. So you've probably heard this before. So instead of thinking about your eyes and where you're looking, think about your nose. So if I want to be diagonal, my nose is going diagonally, not my eyes, my nose. Okay, so that's another trick, just to make sure that you're not just moving the eyes and that you are actually moving the head and that you're kind of drawing the pattern with your nose. That's another way to think about it. Now, I've been taught two different ways for the head when it comes to rond de jambe. In the Royal Academy of Dance, the RAD syllabus, rond de jambes are head to the front. But in the Conservatoire Madrid, what I was taught is rond de jambes are head diagonal. So again, with things like that, you just really need to know what the head is for your ballet school. The last two heads that I'm going to explain are for the écarté lines. So for the écarté de main, the idea is that I have a little bit of a mouvement and that my head is going to the upwards diagonal. Okay, so it will be here, or with my hand at the bar. When it comes to écarté derrière, it's the opposite. So now my head is inclined to the downwards diagonal, and I have some épaulement. I talked about this in the port de bras video, but it's not that my arms are one higher, one lower. They're in the perfect fourth position. What's happening is that my épaulement, which comes from here, is making it look like one is higher than the other, and the head is inclined to the downwards diagonal. So those are some of the basic head positions. I really hope it's helped. I'm sorry that I can't give you exact rules for the head, because the head really does vary from ballet school to ballet school and from technique to technique. Because it is something that is very, very expressive, but it's also something that's really, really important. And once you get to the level where you're controlling the leg movements and you've got the arm positions down, then adding the head and really thinking about the head is going to help you so much to bring more expressivity to your dancing. Because really, if you're not using the head, then you're not dancing, because in ballet, it's the whole thing. Even if the head is just here, make sure that it's there, make sure that it's alive, make sure that your face is awake. The head is really important in ballet as well, so don't forget about it. The last thing that I'm going to talk about for the head is spotting. Obviously, we all know about spotting for turns. It's a way that we can avoid getting too dizzy when we're doing multiple turns. So, just to recap, the basics of spotting is I keep my head looking at the spot. As I turn, I leave my head there. When I can't anymore, I turn my head and I search for my spot again. Okay? So it's this. Or if I'm going the other way, this. That is the idea of a spot. Now, things that happen with spotting, things that have happened to me with spotting, is that sometimes I start the turn and I'm already spotting. No, I forget to leave the head sometimes, so I have to really correct myself with that. I used to do it a lot more before. So I really need to leave my head and then look for the spot, because sometimes we're tempted to just go, oh, and spot. No, first, leave the head and then, okay? It's going to help you a lot with the turn and with the dynamic of the turn and with that movement of the balance as well. The head really helps with all of that. So something else that I've seen in spotting is that sometimes, because we're liberating the head from the shoulders and the rest of the torso, sometimes what can happen is not only just that we free the head this way, but that we free the head this way or this way. Like sometimes I see people doing this, or it just becomes a little bit, it's too much movement. So we really need to be controlled in the fact that in this plane, my head is not going to move at all. It's only going to move this way. It's not going to go up and down at all, because that's going to throw me off as well. So really make sure that when you're spotting, your head is staying level. Okay? There should be none of this or anything like that. No inclination of the head at all. Thank you so much for watching this video, guys. I really hope it's been helpful. As always, if you have other video requests, you can leave them in the comments and I will do my best to make the videos that you guys really want to see. Remember that there's a whole playlist of Ballet Barre Basics videos going through all of the basic steps at the bar, so I will link the playlist in the description box. Thanks again so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!